Hey everybody, my name is Michael Greco, and I just wanted to take a minute to introduce myself. I am a real estate agent, and I'm going to be doing these videos every week actually to document my experience as a new real estate agent. Now, I do have some experience. I did work for 2 years on a real estate team as a director of operations administrative position, so I handled everything from paperwork, client care, follow up, contract to close, inputting listings, basically all parts of the business I was involved in, and I do have that knowledge going into this. But now I decided to branch off and become a solo agent and take on real estate for myself. So I really wanted to document my experience as I go through the process from scratch, becoming an agent, branding yourself, building up your database, finding new clients. Because even though I was involved heavily in the business, doing it all myself and dealing with clients myself and branding myself is something that's definitely going to be new to me. So I'm going to be doing videos once a week, giving recaps for new agents. I hope that this is a helpful tool for agents who are just starting and want this information or are going along in this process with me. I'm going to be showing how many appointments I'm going on, how many contacts I'm making, how many hours prospecting, open houses, all of the details I'm going to be showing you and giving updates. So it's going to be an accountability tool for myself as well as a tool for new agents to be able to look at and see. Hopefully, if they can gain some knowledge from this. Hopefully, I'm knowledgeable enough to give you some information. All right, so it's Thursday of the first week, and I'm going to give a little recap on some of the things that I've been doing. Most of these tasks are things that a new agent should be doing daily in order to prospect and to keep their pipeline full of fresh leads, as well as some preparation for more nurture type long-term leads. So the first thing I want to talk about is your first 500, and basically what that is your personal sphere. You really want to reach out to anybody and everybody you know, family, friends, relatives, anybody, and just let them know that you are now an agent and that you're looking to do business. And to spread the word, let them know if they happen to know anybody looking to buy or sell that you'd love to work with them as well. I did that. First 500, you're supposed to make a list of 500 people. I went on my Instagram, I went on my Facebook, I went through my contacts on my phone, and I put together a list of only 50 people that I thought might be interested in buying or selling. Some friends of mine who might be looking for their first time home. I put together a list of 50, and I'm going to go into detail now on what the results were. So I'm on KW Command, which I'm using as my CRM to keep track of all my leads and to keep notes in there as well. You definitely want to have a CRM, something like Follow Up Boss, Boomtown, something where you can keep notes of the progress you're making with your contacts and the status of the leads. So I'm gonna go break it down each one. Out of 50, I got about 7 people, which is pretty good. 7 people who were either interested in buying or selling or are going to be interested in the near future. And I'm going to give some details on these types of people. All right, so my first contact that I got was a friend of mine, a coworker that I used to work with, and he is actually looking to purchase an investment property to update, to renovate, and then put on the market as a rental. He's going to be looking in the next 6 months to purchase around April of 2020. So this is a promising lead, and he is looking to continue doing this if this goes well, this investment opportunity, to continue purchasing properties every year as a business model. So he was a pretty solid lead, and I'm going to be working with him, sending him properties. So that's the first one. The second lead I got was another coworker that I worked with almost 5 years ago, and she is actually currently leasing but looking for a new rental in the next 6 to 8 months. So I'm going to be helping her find her new rental in the next 6 to 8 months. So that's somebody I'm going to keep in my pipeline, follow up with in a couple months, and touch base once their lease ends. They're definitely going to be pretty actively looking for a new rental. The third one I got was actually a family friend. She was a friend of my parents, and I found out that she actually works for a company that flips properties and resells them. So this is somebody who is going to be always in my database. She has some specific towns she's looking in and a specific price range. I know exactly what her criteria is. So whenever I see a new home on the market that fits her criteria, I'm going to reach out to her. I'm going to send her that information. And, this is definitely going to be a long-term client. So those are just a few of the clients the leads that I was able to capture from doing my first 500. I didn't even do 500 people. I only did 50 people from my Facebook, my Instagram, and my contacts, but I still got a couple promising leads there. I did host an open house as well last weekend, which I did get one lead from that as well, somebody who's actively looking to buy a condo. So, this was all stuff that I did before my first week. I'm considering this week as my technical first week in real estate, even though I did do some digging around and some promoting of myself to my sphere. But now I want to go over some of the things that as an agent you should be doing every week. There are a couple things that I have here on a list that you should be very consistent with if you want to have a pipeline full of leads. The first thing is social media. You have to make your presence known. Like, branding is everything. If a person feels like they know you personally and they really connect with you, there's more of a chance that they're going to want to work with you. And if you're on their feed all the time and they see you and they don't have a realtor, the first thing that's going to pop in their head when they're looking to buy or sell is going to be you. Now, you don't want to post too much because you don't want to spam their feed. I never want to be like overcrowding somebody's feed where they're annoyed to the point of where they're annoyed with my content. So I try to post, once every 3 days is a pretty good posting thing. I think, posting once every 2 days maybe. I use Instagram, I use Facebook. I don't use Snapchat right now, might get into it. But, and Instagram stories as well. Stories are never going to be too much or too overwhelming because people just click through them and scroll through them and it's not going to be annoying. So post on the stories as much as you want. I'm trying to post every day on my stories on what I'm doing, houses I'm previewing, open houses I'm hosting, But for an actual Instagram post, I try to do it once every 3 days. That's my norm. Next is going to be open houses. Open houses are a great way to get leads. There's, it's literally you put in the time and you wait there a couple hours and you talk to some people and you make some connections and you get those leads. If they're not working with agents, you got to follow up with them after the open house and really, convince them that you're the agent that they want to work with. And right now, I'm hosting open houses every single weekend. This upcoming weekend, I have 2 open houses scheduled, which I'll be documenting in this episode. And I'm just trying to do as many as I can because the more time that I'm out there on the field, the more opportunity there is for buyers to come in and actually meet me and talk to me. That's really one of the best ways to have that one-on-one connection with a person is when you meet them in person and you show your value as you tour the house and give them that information. The next thing obviously is prospecting. Calling up, cold calling, for sale by owners, expireds, circle prospecting. These are all different types of prospecting, and I could definitely get into those types of calls, give more information maybe in another video, but doing those daily, setting time aside, time blocking, so that you have even an hour a day where you're cold calling people and just trying to get those appointments set up is really, really important. And I think in the next video, I'm going to document me cold calling some for sale by owner Zillow leads. So I'm actually going to go on Zillow and I'm going to look up for sale by owner specifically in the towns that are near me. I'm going to call them up and I'm going to talk to them. If their house has been on the market for more than 30 days on Zillow and it's a for sale by owner, I'm going to say, hey, there are things that I can offer you. There is, there are so many ways that working with a real estate agent will improve the exposure that your house gets. Social media marketing, access to thousands of agents, having open houses at your property. You have to have that pitch ready. We'll talk about that in a further video, but definitely cold calling and prospecting is definitely a very important thing to be doing consistently, daily and weekly as a new agent. Otherwise, you're not going to be getting leads. So prospecting, open houses, and social media are the 3 top things to consistently be doing in order to get more and more leads. So your pipeline is full of leads and you're actively working new people. And then once you do have those leads, you have to make sure you're following up. Make sure you're using something like KW Command if you're a Keller Williams agent, or Follow Up Boss, or Boomtown. There are plenty of programs, but make sure you're using something where you can set yourself reminders to be following up with these people. If it's a lead that's 6 months out or a lead that's going to be ready tomorrow, you want to make sure that you have the correct reminders, that you're calling every day or you're calling every couple of months, touching base. Some of these leads, I have a good friend of mine who doesn't know when she's going to be ready to buy, but I have her in here and I have it set up so that I do call her on her birthday. I call her on her anniversary with her husband, just to make those nice touches, those personal touches, to really show that I care. And when she is ready to buy, she's going to work with me because she feels that connection. All right, guys, it's Saturday morning. I'm here at my first open house of the weekend, and I'm going to show you a little bit about what I set up for this open house. Over here on the counter in the kitchen, I got a little setup. I got some business cards, I got a sign-in sheet with contact information, as well as some feedback notes if they're working with an agent or not. I got some water bottles, some little pamphlets, flyers, MLS, CIS copies. So that's my basic setup. Sometimes we'll do some snacks, do some food, really depends on how much you want to put into it. But this is my basic setup for an open house, and I think I'll definitely go into a video later on this channel where I really go into all the details of an open house. Good morning, everybody. So it is Sunday, the day of my second open house, and just to show you what I woke up to, check this out. Flat tire. So this is what I have to deal with now. Good thing I woke up early. Gonna handle this situation and get to my open house. All right, we are here at open house number 2 for the weekend. I was able to get here, had to put a donut on my car, but I'm here now. I'm here for 2 hours, my last open house of the weekend. And last week they had an open house here and 10 groups actually came through. So I'm hoping that some people come through and I get some leads today. I'll give a recap of how it went at the end of the open house. All right, guys, so the first week is over. I want to give a quick recap on what I accomplished this week and things that I need to work on for next week. So first of all, I did a lot of follow-up. I went through my personal sphere. Any people who showed interest, I followed up with this week. And my one friend who I mentioned earlier, who was looking for an investment property, I got to speak with him a little bit. I got to find out exactly what he's looking for and his timeline. And I sent him some properties. So we're moving the ball on that one. He's about 6 months out, but he is definitely a very promising lead. To give you a little recap on my open houses, the first one, which was yesterday, I had 3 groups come through, one of which had no realtor, and they're pretty urgently looking for a new home. They're leasing a place currently month by month. They didn't like the house that they checked out at the open house, but they were looking for something very similar. So I went home immediately after the open house, sent them a list of properties, and I'm waiting to hear back from them. Today's open house was not that successful. There have been no groups coming through, but sometimes that's just what happens. That's why you always want to bring your laptop, have your phone, have something to do so that when you have these slow periods at open houses, you could be prospecting, you could be following up, you could be working on your social media, you could be creating content, whatever it may be. Just have something to do so that you're still working and you're not just sitting around doing nothing while you're waiting for clients to show up at your open house. Something I didn't do much of this week was prospecting. I really was a little nervous, to be honest, to be cold calling, because I never have really cold called before. I did a lot of neighborhood search type of circle prospecting for open houses, but I have never done FSBO or expired cold calling. So next week I'm making it a promise that I'm going to be going very, very hard with the FSBO cold calling all next week. This week I really kind of took as well time to, watch some videos, practice some scripts, and really just learn the dialogue. But now I feel a little bit more comfortable, so next week's video I'm definitely going to be showing you my experience as I go into FSBO cold calling for the first time. So overall, I have about 10 leads. Some of them are a year out, some are 6 months out, some showed interest and they want to look for a home now, but we're playing phone tag and I'm trying to follow up. I set notifications to be texting, emailing, and calling them on a consistent basis to make sure that they still have that interest and that I can start working with them. I don't want to do too much follow up to the point where I become an annoyance to these clients, but I do want to make sure that I'm on top of them and that they aren't reaching out to another realtor before they end up looking for a home. In conclusion, I'd just like to say that, there are a lot of agents who are doing real estate and they're making it by, but maybe they're not making the maximum amount they could possibly be making. And I really believe that you need to go 100% all in on real estate if you want to be making as much as you possibly can. You have to be prospecting every day. You have to be following up every day with your clients, doing social media marketing, hosting open houses. There are so many parts of this business that you need to be doing consistently if you want a database full of hot and active leads. I hope that this video will be a testimony of that, and I hope that you'll stick around for the journey, because as we get further and further and progress in these videos, I'm sure that you will see a progression in my real estate business and the amount of clients and the amount of leads that I'm going to be taking on as I start prospecting every day, calling those FSBOs, calling those expireds. There are a lot of agents who are like, what am I doing wrong? Why haven't I had that much business? I'm hosting open houses, I'm doing social media, but if you're not doing all of the parts of the business together, you're not going to get the maximum potential. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. It's the first one. I think it went pretty well. I'm going to be doing episodes every single week, so make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. It's really appreciated. And if you have any topics that you'd like me to discuss in the future videos, leave a comment below. Also, follow me on Instagram at mgrecorealty. I'll see you guys next week.